I'd like to welcome everybody back to the Cross Country Coaches National Youth Championship. This is the boys 11 and 12 3K. You see some of the teams running out. The Louisville Tiger Sharks in the light blue jerseys. Host of teams competing here today. Other teams competing: Lynn Ellen, Wazot Track Club, KC Cheetahs, Houston Middle, Ann Arbor Track Club, the Dashers. There's another squad, the Northeast Striders, Nashville Youth, Pint-Sized Harriers, Kitsap Flyers, AOC, Knoxville Youth, amongst several that will be competing. We'll go through the list of other teams here in just a moment, but everybody's getting ready. Wind's starting to pick up a little bit. There's Derby City. In the last decade, Brocaw Blazer boys have won this 10 times. Derby City's won it once. Belvedere Tornadoes once. And Philadelphia CYO has won it 2 times. Looking at the returning athletes from the 11-year-olds and some of the 10-year-olds moving up, looks like it could be a real battle between Philadelphia CYO, Derby City, and Brocaw Blazers, all 3 of which have won national titles in this age group. Last year, the Brocaw Blazer boys won 4 championships in 4 different age groups: 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So from the 11-year boys all the way up, or 11-year-old boys all the way up to the 18, Brocaw Blazers have dominated. Jinx America is one of those teams that's won national titles, as have the Belvedere Tornadoes. There's some Fisher's Fire, Nashville Youth. They've done well here. Accelerators, Philadelphia CYO, they've won national titles in this age group, amongst others. Just a loaded field. Probably Elgin Sharks. Elgin Sharks, they were the runner-up in, 2011, 2009, 2010. They had really a good set of kids during those years. But all these teams are converging here on Voice of America Park for the opportunity to gain a national title. Approximately 40 teams competing. I'd say over 200 youth are participating in this particular race. Don't have the exact numbers right in front of me. Be able to see them coming and going. We have the inset, the rear view, as well as the main screen, the full view. Flag is up. They're ready for the cannon blast. At any moment, Gordon Bocock is our starter. You're watching the 11 and 12-year-old boys national championship, and the cannon sounds. We're at the start of the boys 11 and 12-year-old national championship. Returning individuals to look for: last year's 11-year-olds that really did well. Jack Fisher and Adam Patel, running for Derby City, did well last year as 11-year-olds. They run elementary for Goshen back in the day. Michael Woolery from Philadelphia CYO was one of the top 11-year-old performers last year. Akila Parek from Chicago Speed was, as was Carter Stewart from Brocaw Blazers and Levi Allen. But if you look at the 10-year-olds last year, that'll be 11-year-olds running in this race. Keegan Smith from Knoxville Youth was the national champion, and Ben Buckler from Hudson Youth was a runner-up. And so they may play into this and factor into it, or it may just be a development year for them. Hard to know for sure. Brocaw Blazers won 6 in this age division, but the next team has been Philadelphia CYO. Just a fabulous organization, Philadelphia CYO is. Catholic Youth Organization. If you look at their website, just a great quote from John Paul II from a speech that he gave in November of 1984 at the LA Olympics. Here we have our front runner. Looks like that's Keegan Smith, Knoxville Youth, 11-year-old. Last year's 10-year-old champ, leading the pack. Looks like we leading the race rather, and we have a chase pack with a ton of Brocaw Blazers, which makes them look good. 1, 2, 3, 4 Brocaw Blazers, and there's their 5-man in the top 7 or so. So they're really looking strong for a 7th rather national title in this particular age division. We're at the midpoint of the cross-country coaches National Youth Championship, boys 11 and 12-year-old 3K race. Of course, it's starting to get muddy at this juncture. Other individuals to look for: Michael Woolery, I mentioned. He was 33rd at the East Region meet. Philadelphia ran a 13:04. Sam Pugh, he was 10th at that meet. Brendan Teal, he was 4th at the CYO East Region Championship held just recently. Ran a time of 11:17, and Quinn Smith, he won that event with a time of 11:03. Derek Courtney was 2nd, runner-up, with a time of 11:13. At the meet prior to that, the Archdiocese of Philadelphia Championship meet, Quinn Smith from Sacred Heart was 1st. Derek Courtney from St. Norbert 2nd. TJ Zwall 3rd. Brennan Teal from St. Anastasia 4th. And Chaz Berger from St. Jude's was 5th. All of those young men are running here today for Philadelphia CYO, but they better move up if they're going to challenge Brocaw Blazers. Brocaw, as that lead pack went by, had a ton in the first 7. Their top 5 was in the top 7. We'll be taking you straight on into the finish line. From this point, they should be looping around to the finish. You're watching the cross-country coaches National Youth Championship, the boys 11 and 12-year-old competition. And here is our race finish. Looks like Keegan Smith maintained his lead with Micah Blomker 2nd. We got 2 more Brocaw Blazers coming in behind Micah. So they've got 4 now in the top 3. Looks like that's a Chicago speed runner, probably Akila Perek. He did really well last year as an 11-year-old. Hudson Youth runner coming in. That might have been Ben Buckler, last year's 10-year-old runner-up, and then a slew of runners coming in. We'll get you the exact names and results as we continue this race. But as I was mentioning, Pope John Paul II, his speech in the LA Olympics, just a great quote. Share it with you at this opportunity. He says, talked about the individuals just running outside and doing all kinds of events on the fields and slopes, and he told those athletes, you're in the best position to perceive the value of simple and immediate things. The call to goodness, the dissatisfaction with one's insufficiencies, and to meditate on the authentic values that are the basis of human life. These are the virtues that harmonize well with the Christian spirit because they demand a capacity for self-control, self-denial, sacrifice, and humility. Pope John Paul went on to write, "Sports are not merely the exercise of muscles, but the school of moral values and of training in courage and perseverance and in overcoming laziness." And I tell you today, after looking at all these athletes, Pope John Paul was really correct. Philadelphia CYO is right on the money, as are all these other coaches and organizations out there. These children out here running are anything but lazy. They're a testament to perseverance, hard work, and really just getting out and enjoying the outdoors. And the fans are too. You can see the fans running all from point to point all over the course to see an athlete run and cheer on their team or their children or grandchildren. Just a wonderful sport. And we're bringing yet another season to a close here at Voice of America Park at the Cross Country Coaches National Youth Championship. We have teams from Virginia and Philadelphia, all points in between, all the way out to Washington State, from coast to coast. True national championship here being contested at Voice of America Park in Ohio. Back to the team score. We'll be providing you that information at the conclusion of the race, but really it looks like Brocaw Blazers have captured a 7th national title in the boys 11 and 12 division. Just really did an excellent job. Just going to be interesting to see who comes in second. Really hard to tell. Teams that have done well in this age division in the past, Philadelphia CYO, they've had two national championships in this age division, and they've been in the money quite a bit. Derby City has done well, but there's other teams out there looking to unseat one of the larger teams. We'll see in just a little bit. Other teams competing out here today, the Seashore Striders, Team Kentucky, Body in Training, Buffalo Chips, Elgin Sharks, Flying Angels, Southern Indiana Running Club, Running Tigers, Nova Athletic Club, Westfield Green Wave, Southern Indiana Catholic, Copley, Lowe, Staley Striders, Jinx America, Lawrence County, Farmington Elementary, CMAC All-Stars, to name just a few of the teams competing out here today. Hundreds of athletes competing in this particular event. One more age division coming up after this, the 13-14 girls and 13-14 boys. It's been a full day of races here at the Cross Country Coaches National Youth Championship, one of the more heavily contested age groups with more teams than one can count. Top performers today, Keegan Smith, Knoxville Youth, Micah Blomker from Brocaw, Ben Rodriguez from Brocaw, Carter Stewart from Brocaw, Akile Parek from Chicago Speed, and Ben Buckler from Hudson Youth will be taken to interviews with our top two performers today. Keegan Smith, national champion in the boys 11-year-old division, and Micah Blomker, national champ from the 12-year-olds, running for Brocaw Blazers. Okay. Keegan, tell me a little bit about your race here today.
It was definitely windy and muddy, so it was just a tough thing. Just had to mentally fight through it. And then you come on the backside, and it's just the wind blowing in your face. You just have to keep it.
Yeah, and the wind's been picking up. I think this is probably the windiest race so far today.
Yeah.
Did the crowd cause any issues, the large number of boys, or were you able to get out early?
I was able to get out early, but I was at the start and a kid tripped, so I just had to hop over, keep going, couldn't think about it. I kept going.
Well, that's great. Now, Micah, tell me about your race.
Well, when I started, I kind of got caught behind a few kids, but I just worked my way up through it. And I saw him in the front. I picked it up. I didn't quite catch him, but I tried.
Now, what school do you run for?
I'm homeschooled.
You're homeschooled?
Yes.
So do you have an opportunity to run much?
Yeah, I get a lot of opportunities. And also a fun fact, my great-grandpa's an Olympic athlete too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's your great-grandfather?
Gil Dodds. He was favored to win the gold medal in like the 1940s.
Oh, yeah. I know Gil Dodds. We got photographs of him in a museum we're trying to set up. So you're Gil Dodds' great-grandson?
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. Well, we're here with the top two finishers in the boys 3K 11 and 12-year-olds at the Cross Country Coaches National Youth Championship. Well, that was neat to learn that Micah Blomker is related to Gil Dodds. They called him the Flying Parson back in the day. Now for our team scores, today's champion, Brocaw Blazers, Philadelphia CYO 2nd, Derby City 3rd, Brocaw B 4th, Accelerators 5th, Knights 6th, Louisville Tiger Sharks 7th, Seashore Striders 8th, Team Kentucky 9th, and Northeast Striders rounding out the top 10.